So, I already mentioned it, that Messe Düsseldorf Group is very, very international. I already mentioned 142 countries we are covering with 77 foreign representatives, and we have 7 offices around the world. As you can see here on the right side. So now I would like to go deeper into Wire and Tube Düsseldorf 2026. So what can we expect? We can expect, I would say, a completely, hopefully, completely sold out Wire and Tube. That means 120,000 square meters net. It's difficult to understand how big or how small 120,000 square meters are. I always say that a usual football or soccer field has 7,000 square meters. So if you put 17 football fields in one row, you could get an imagine how big it is. So in Düsseldorf we will cover all exhibition halls apart from 2, 8A and 8B. These 2 exhibition halls are in the north of our fairground. These 2 ones we will not block or occupy with our Wire Tube, but the rest of the entire fairground. We expect again 2,500 exhibitors from all over the world. Last time our exhibitors came from more than 60 countries. And of course, many global players. We are very, very proud that we are able to welcome again all the big players and key players from the Wire and from the Tube side. Not only from Germany, but also from abroad, from India, from China, from Italy, from the United States. All the key players, the main players, are coming to Düsseldorf in order to participate at our show. And as I already mentioned, India plays a significant, a very, very important role at Wire and Tube. Because the industry, the steel production industry, plays a very important role in India. And in my opinion, India was one of the countries that did everything right during the COVID pandemic in terms of helping the economy to make it more stable, to do a lot of investments. This is what we currently see not only at Wire Tube Düsseldorf but also at other shows, that the economy of India is running very, very well. So therefore this is also an appeal to you, to all Indian companies producing steel tubes, producing steel wires, producing cable. Join us. Come to Düsseldorf, participate in Wire Tube, because it is the most important and most relevant platform. There's no other platform in the world where it's easier to get in touch with an international wide audience. So, look back into 2024. I have to say that 2024 was by far the biggest and largest Wire that has ever taken place in Düsseldorf. 1,495 exhibitors on 67,000 square meters and 59,000 visitors. This number is also made us very, very happy and satisfied, because this is one of the main problems trade fair organizers currently have, is to attract the right visitors. Not only in terms of the quality, but also in terms of the quantity. And what we have realized during the last show was that we achieved that goal to communicate and to attract the right visitors. As I mentioned, it was one of the largest show, and frankly speaking, the Wire show, or the success of last event was mainly driven by the consumption and the demand for power cables, for the electrical vehicle industry, but also for the power consumption and for the power production. So when we talk about our exhibitors, could you imagine a world without wire and cables? Could you? No, no? Correct. Because wire and cables are indispensable goods. Without wire and cables, I wouldn't be here or wouldn't be able to show you a presentation. We wouldn't have light, we wouldn't have smartphones, nothing. Wire and cables are very, very important. They are indispensable goods. So, coming from the exhibitor side, we are covering the entire value chain, from the raw materials to the companies who are producing steel wire. They are located mainly in hall number 12. To the companies who are producing machines for the processing of wires and cables and for the production of wire and cables. They are located in the halls 9 to 11, 13 and 15. And last but not least, coming to the end products of springs, fasteners, and our latest news are the cables itself. So a question we often ask ourselves, are we international? Where do the exhibitors come from? As you can see here on the side, left side, last time at Wire 2024 we had 1,495 exhibitors from 59 countries. Most of our exhibitors came from Europe, of course, from Germany, followed by Italy, followed by Turkey, and then followed by Asia. In Asia, currently China is the strongest market when we are talking about exhibitors, but followed from India. And who knows, in a few years, maybe there will be a shift, a change, that most of our exhibitors are coming from India, because India is a huge market, India has a huge population, and India has, in my opinion, the potential to bring many more exhibitors and visitors to Düsseldorf. So, but not only the exhibitors are important, we also need the visitors, we also need the buyers. And as I mentioned, wire and cables are indispensable goods. All industries need wire and cables. So therefore, most of our visitors are coming from the wire industry and cable industry. That means these are companies who are producing wire and cables. As I mentioned, the main exhibitor group at Wire Düsseldorf are the companies who are producing machines for the production and processing of wire and cables. And with the wire industry and cable industry, we mean the big ones like Prysmian, like Nexans. So these are the visitors coming to Düsseldorf in order to buy the machines for the production and for the processing of wire and cables, and they are producing. So these are the producers of wire and cables. Of course, wire and cable dealers, automotive industry is very, very important because the electrical vehicle currently need more power cables than need more power cables than a combustion engine cars, of course. Electro industry, electronical industry, construction industry, chemical industry, like electro industry, telecommunication. There we also see a huge demand in India when it comes to bringing the telecommunication, bringing bringing power supply to all areas in India. So this is a huge market in India. And we are always very, very proud that we are able to welcome the top management in this regard, the decision makers. This is very, very important for us as a trade fair organizer to offer you, to offer all exhibitors, the people who are able to do the decisions. This is one of our USPs in this regard. But what we have also realized during the last two shows is that especially the European companies are also now seeking for the end users, because the end users are the people who are sitting at the machines every day or using the machines. Because when they are convinced of a machine, they become a very strong advocate when it comes to purchasing decisions of machines. So this is what we also now try to focus, not only the top management and middle management, the decision makers, but also the end users, the people who are working with the machines day by day. Yeah, our visitors. Our visitors are coming from 132 countries. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are covering with our international representatives more than 140 countries, and our visitors are coming from 132. This is a fantastic result. Most of them are coming from Europe, of course, not only because of the distance, but for them it makes sense when they have a world-leading trade fair next to their door. Of course, it's very comfortable for them to visit the show. Followed by Asia. We have a very, very strong visitor attendance from India. Very, very close to the attendance from China. But again, I'm convinced that we can attract more visitors from India, because also for all Indian, or to be honest, we have a show here in Mumbai. This is a show which I can also recommend. It's the most important, most relevant show here in India for the Indian subcontinent, called Wire and Tube India show. And last time we had 17,000 or 18,000 visitors from entire India, and we saw the potential. Of course, not every visitor is able to travel to Germany to see that show. The show here in India is good, but if you want to get an entire overview about all nations, about the entire value chain, of course you need to come to Düsseldorf, because it is by far the biggest show when it comes to exhibitors and visitors. I already spoke about the key topics of our show. Two very, very important, or two very, very relevant key topics are automotive, when it comes to e-mobility, electrical vehicles, connected cars, and renewable energy, the power consumption. As I mentioned at the beginning, the industry is currently driven by the consumption and the demand of power cables. This is what we see in Düsseldorf right now, or in Europe. So these are the key topics the industries are faced with, and we are faced with. So now we are coming to the second leading trade fair, called Tube Düsseldorf. Tube Düsseldorf is also the world-leading trade fair for the tube and pipe industries. There's no exhibition in the world that covers more space, that has more exhibitors, that shows more different products of the entire value chain of Tube Düsseldorf. A brief look back into the past, 1,200 exhibitors in 2024. This is what we also expect in 2026. We see, compared to the wire show, not an increase in exhibitors and square meters. Why? Because the wire industry is a totally different industry than the tube industry. We are talking about the steel production. We are talking about the production of steel tubes. This industry, the steel industry, the tube industry, is faced with so many different challenges. We have the tariffs in the United States on European steel tubes, an example, on steel itself. We see an overcapacity of steel tubes in China. They are now bringing these steel tubes and the steel to the global market. We see the high energy costs in Europe, and so on and so on. So this industry is faced with a lot of challenges. Who are the exhibitors? The Tube Düsseldorf show also covers the entire value chain. That means from the raw materials to the production of steel and steel tubes, to the companies who are producing machines for the processing and finishing of steel tubes, up to the tube dealers. So we cover in Düsseldorf the entire value chain. Here are the raw materials, the tube and pipe manufacturing machinery, second-hand machinery, measuring control technology, and so on and so on. A very, very important point is that the tube show was over the past, or the first tube took place in Düsseldorf in 1988. The Tube Düsseldorf show was for many, many, many years a truly steel tube exhibition. But what we started in 2024 is to implement also the plastic tubes. So later on I will give you more insights into the topic of plastic tubes. Yeah, our exhibitors are coming from 52 countries. Same situation which we have at Wire Düsseldorf. Most of them are coming from Europe, followed by Asia. We have the same ratio. Our visitors are coming mainly from the tube and pipe industry, followed by the automotive industry, of course, chemical, oil and gas, everywhere where pipes and tubes are in use. The iron and steel industries, as I mentioned, heating, oil, gas, and water supplies, very, very important industries for our tube show. Construction industry, electrical industry, and measuring and control technology. Same situation we have at Wire. We are very, very proud that most of our visitors are top and middle management, coming from the top and middle management. These are the decision makers. These are the ones who are deciding which machine, which tubes and pipes we intend to buy. Our visitors, the figure of 59,702 visitors is a combined number of wire and tube. And this is the figure we had in 2024, and as already mentioned, it came from 132. So we are covering almost the entire world. Our key topics and trends are, again, automotive industry, because also in electrical vehicles, you need a lot of steel profiles or aluminum profiles or tubes and pipes. Oil and gas industry, of course, the world tries to keep distance from the fossil energy, from oil and gas, but nevertheless, without oil and gas, we wouldn't be able to run an industry or to heat up our homes. So therefore, the oil and gas industry is still the main